Hello, and welcome to another day of English 2. I'm your online teacher, Miss Bear. We are working on a graffiti argument unit. So is graffiti art or crime? Yesterday I introduced you to this unit. I also introduced you to the vocabulary. As promised, we are digging straight in today, and we are going to explore the idea of why is graffiti controversial. So again, this is from the Common Lit 360 website, and your teacher will need access to this website today as there are some videos that they will need to play directly from the Common Lit website. So teachers, take this moment while I talk about our essential question and a couple of things to go ahead and pull that up on your computer and be ready to play those videos. So our essential question for this unit, or our essential questions, because there's two, is graffiti a work of art or a crime to be punished? And how do we decide? Is it even right for us to make that decision, or should someone else make that decision? What is art to us may be vandalism to someone else. So that's something that you will be taking into consideration throughout this unit. You should have received this research note-taking graphic organizer. You will be using this throughout the unit. Each video that you watch or article that you read is listed in this graphic organizer, and this will just help you keep up with your thoughts throughout the unit, so that when we get to the end, when we're going to have a debate, because you guys know we like to debate, right? When we get ready for that debate, you will have all of the evidence, or at least a lot of evidence, and a lot of your reasoning written up in this graphic organizer. So have this in a place that you can get to it every time that you come to class. Also today you should have related media exploration. Why is graffiti controversial? You will need this as well today. And you know, every day we have different packets that go along with what we are studying for that day or the article itself. There will always be something within that packet that has some standards related questions, but there are also questions in the margins of these articles that Common Lit provides to help push your thoughts along, so that when you are writing in your graphic organizer, you've got those thoughts already processed out as you're reading those articles. Okay, so today, as promised, we are looking at some media exploration, answering that question, why is graffiti controversial? So again, as I said, you will need that related media exploration handout. You will need that research note-taking graphic organizer. You will need a pen or a pencil. And then if your teacher is having you do this independently, you will need computer and headphones. Or if your teacher is doing this in her classroom as a whole group, you just need to sit there and watch while your teacher pulls up the video on the computer herself or himself. All right, during this activity, you're going to view the sources as a whole class. You're going to discuss those questions with your partner, and then you are going to write your answers on your individual handouts. Your teacher is going to be circulating as you discuss the questions on your handouts, because it's important that you stay on task. So, are we ready? Are we? Okay, what are we going to be learning today? In this exploration, you're going to be gathering important information to answer this unit's argument prompt. So, should graffiti be protected? Draft an argumentative paper in which you utilize multiple sources to support your point of view on this complex topic. Be sure to address whether graffiti can be considered vandalism, whether graffiti can be considered public art, and how it should be treated in each case. So if you believe it is vandalism, how should you treat it? If you believe it is public art, how should we treat it? And so those are some questions that you're going to be exploring throughout this unit. So keep that in mind as we go through. So it's bigger than that essential question. So our essay prompt digs into that topic a little more specifically to tell you exactly what is going to be expected. So part 1 in your packet is to watch the graffiti artist fearlessly tags NYU structures. So you're going to watch that either with your partner or as a whole group, and then you're going to answer questions 1 through 3. So I'm going to pause here and let you get started. Great job. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did. I loved that. And you could see why graffiti can be controversial. And so we're going to look a little bit more in that in a second. So right now I want you to work with a partner. You're still in part 1. And I want you to read the excerpt that is available in your packet that's called New York City and the State Anti-Graffiti Legislation that was passed in 1995. And I want you to answer questions 4 through 7. I'm going to pause here while you do that. Great job. You guys have some strong opinions, and I like that. Keep those discussions going as we work on part 3. Again, this is with a partner. So you're going to read this next excerpt from the Visual Arts Rights Act of 1990. Answer questions 8 through 11 with your partner. Great job. All right, now we're going to move to part 4, which again is some partner work. Review each item on the graph that represents public opinion about graffiti and answer questions 12 through 14. Great job. Now we are going to dig and kind of really set your expectation for some things that are coming within this unit. These next few slides you will see in your handout, you're going to evaluate whether or not these photographs of graffiti, are they art or are they vandalism? So, are you ready? This first one is going to be considered slide number 12. Even though it's not my slide number 12, this is Common Lit slide number 12. But this first one, are you ready? Is this art or is it vandalism? Okay, the next one, is this art or is it vandalism? All right, the next one, is this art or vandalism? 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 All right, that is the last one. You guys have evaluated those based on your thoughts. Now, I want you to turn and talk with a partner. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes, and I want you to talk about how did you decide if something was vandalism or art. Talk about that with your partner, and then do you think you can determine this just by looking at an image? And I want you to explain that with your partner. Fantastic job. I love those thoughts and ideas that are buzzing throughout the room. Some of you are disagreeing, and I love the disagreement because it's important that we don't always agree on everything. You don't have to change your opinion just because your neighbor thinks something differently than you do. So hold fast to your thoughts if you do really believe that way. Or if you want to change your opinion based on the information that you get from your partner, absolutely fantastic. But I want your opinions to be your opinions. So think through those. Now, I want you to do some independent reflection. The last part of this packet is to work independently and to answer the question on the prompt. And the prompt says, explain why graffiti is controversial. Summarize evidence from the related media exploration in your response. So I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to work on that. Great job. You guys, some of you wanted more time to write, and I love that. Some of you finished a little quickly. Be careful of finishing too quickly. If your teacher says that she's going to give you 10 minutes, take that whole 10 minutes. Get those thoughts really going out of your mind. And if you're not sure what to write, you can even start with a sentence that says, I'm not really sure what I think, but when I looked at this picture, I thought this, and when I looked at this picture, I thought that, and so I'm really not sure what is vandalism and what is art, and then that will get your thoughts processing. Sometimes you have to start with nothing to get something, if that makes any sense whatsoever to you. So now I want you to raise your hand out, share out with our class why graffiti is controversial. All right, great job. You guys have some fantastic ideas, and I can't wait to hear those ideas progress as we go through this unit. You can absolutely keep the conversation going. These are some additional questions that you and your classmates or you and your teacher can delve deeper into if you would like. We've got a couple of more activities for today, but if you want to keep that conversation going, and if you have time, I'm going to pause for a second, let you guys have this time, and your teacher can decide if they want to keep the conversation going for just a moment longer. All right, so some of you kept the conversation going and others didn't. But you remember when we've done these other argument units, I have seen and I have heard you guys, even when you didn't have an opportunity to talk about these in class, you're talking about them with your peers outside of class. And I think that that is so much fun, and it shows your engagement with this topic. So keep those conversations going because they are important, and it's going to help you write a much better essay. The very last part of your packet is this research note-taking graphic organizer. I want you to take about 5 minutes and complete the graphic organizer with evidence from the video, laws, graphs, and images from today's lesson. Okay, remember to hold on to that graphic organizer because you are going to be using that every day of this lesson. Now, as promised, I'm going to be giving you time to work on vocabulary throughout this unit. So now, if you have time in class, if you don't, your teacher may assign it for homework, but you are going to complete vocabulary activity 2, and it looks a bit like this. It's asking you to fill in the blank on these statements. So finish that, and then that's all that I have for you today. Until next time, happy reading.